villains. Zion Williamson hadn't played all year, and his GM, David Griffin. Apparently, Zion wants to play and expects to play, according to his stepdad. And if he does play in game, maybe playoff series, who knows? There will be pressure. And David Griffin, the GM, there are reports of a rift between these two. Griff probably doesn't want Zion to play because, of course, he could get injured again. But if he doesn't let him play, is Zion and his family, are they bothered? Are they even less feeling, David Griffin now? So there is an issue there, and both of them are under duress. All right, at number 4, let's go to baseball. Opening day today. Dave Roberts, the manager of the LA Dodgers, went on Dan Patrick, last week, and guaranteed a World Series victory. Now, Dave's a great manager, and the Dodgers are a great team, but they've been the best team in baseball probably for the last decade, and they have one World Series title to show for it, and that in the COVID-shortened season. So I don't know that Dave should be out there running his mouth about, we got this. You probably don't have it. You better be careful. The question is the pitching staff. Do they have the depth? We know they got the hitting. All right, at number 3, let's go back to the association. Kevin Durant. I know there's talk. I got time. I know he wants to win it this year, but he's talking about, I'm here for the long haul. We're going to be great in the future. Kevin Durant's going to be 34 years old at the start of next season. It'll be his 15th year. And not everybody ages like Tom Brady and LeBron James. KD's had injury issues the last few years. This is his 3rd year in Brooklyn, and he doesn't even have a conference final to show for it. So Kevin Durant, we all want to see him. Can he win a championship with his own team? Not go to a stacked team that's already won. So the pressure is on KD when these playoffs begin. You don't have time to waste, brother. At number 2, let's stay in the association. In fact, let's stay in the East. Philadelphia. Doc Rivers. Whenever your name is mentioned as a potential coach of another team and you still are coaching one team, not good, because that means nobody expects you to succeed where you're at. And if the Sixers underachieve in the playoffs this year, which many people seem to think they will, including me, Doc Rivers could be fired for the 2nd time, guys, in less than 2 years. And how's that playing in the locker room? You walk in there and your young players are looking at it like, he could be coaching the Lakers next year? What's going on? So not a good situation in Philly. And at number 1, I could call it the Baker's under duress list. Because I said until he gets a job, at least the other 4 or 5 on this list have jobs. Baker doesn't. Baker's the ball boy right now in Cleveland, okay? And nobody, I get it. They don't want to pay him $18 million when they can get him on the cheap once the Browns are forced to release him. But Wild, this tells me no one believes in Baker anymore. Because if I knew I had a guy that could come in and run my franchise for the next 10 years, I'd pay him $18 million easy. So Baker Mayfield, who's recovering from a shoulder surgery and all the other issues that are going on with him, doesn't have a job. He's number 1 on the Bud list, Wilds. Sorry to say.
Excellent list, as always, Broussard. I am adding the 82-game schedule to the Bud list. And I know the Bud list is usually an inspiration, not an indictment, but not this time. 82-game schedule. You know what? Out of here. Pack your bags along with Doc Rivers and hit the road. You're going to be done. Because Adam Silver had a press conference the other day, and he said, you know what? One of their issues is our star players not playing the full complement of games. So it's about sort of reducing the workload, shrinking the season, so everybody can play. Makes a lot of sense. Here's the other thing. The NBA, Rick, needs to add urgency to the regular season. And Adam Silver said, you know what would work? A play-in tournament. Open up the playoffs a little bit, have more teams in. Worked perfectly. We've been talking about, can they make the play-in? Are you gonna who's in reach of the play-in? Who's going to fall into the play-in? It's been a perfect success. So Adam Silver's got a little capital in messing with the schedule. Now this mid-season tournament is going to have some legs. But we're not going to add games. We're going to reduce games. So the 82-game schedule is soon to be a thing of the past. And good riddance. Fewer the games, better. The fewer NBA games, the better Midseason schedule is going to work. Playing works. I'm all for getting rid of it.
I just keep imagining Kevin holding his 82-game schedule and saying soothing words like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. My under duress.
It's an inspiration,
without
not an insult
question,
being on the Bud list.
It's LeBron James is under duress. There is nobody who is more under duress this week because he faces the unenviable choice of either not playing in 2 of the last 3 games and therefore abandoning the only thing that mattered to him, at least since early March, which is winning the scoring title, because he would no longer be eligible for winning it, or he plays in 2 of those 3 games, and everybody in the Lakers locker room is looking at him saying, wait a minute, you couldn't strap it up in order to help us stave off elimination, but now you're good enough to play 2 of the last 3 games to win a scoring title? That is not a choice that that anybody wants to make, especially LeBron James at this point, with all the other disappointment that he's had to suffer from this season.
Okay, I just want to respond to Rick here. I was going to put Jeannie Buss on the list, but this is more interesting. And I want to say something to the audience. I legitimately, personally like Rick Bucher and professionally have massive respect for Rick Bucher. We just happen to see most things LeBron James diametrically opposed, so sometimes it's a little more tension-filled than it would be in other conversations. But and Wilds, I called this 2 months ago, that you were going to be able to set your watch to that somehow winning the scoring title would be a cudgel used against LeBron James in some circles of the world, and Rick occupies one of those circles, as he just called it, the only thing that's mattered to him for the better part of a month. So my question for Rick is this. If LeBron does not play, because I know if he plays, you're going to rip him. That ship has sailed, it's gone. If he does not play, will you, next week when you're on this show, admit and maybe even apologize for some of the commentary that all he cared about was the scoring title if he forfeits the opportunity to go for it? I'm just curious. If you are, and I say this kindly, proven as wrong as one could be proven on a topic. If a player does not play and therefore is ineligible for the thing that you said is all that mattered to him, will you say, I probably was a little too hard on him and I was probably, questioning his integrity as an athlete and as a competitor, but maybe I was a little early on that? Or will you rip him for that too?
You know what? Let's get there first, Nick. I would say the fact that he doesn't play, if he doesn't play in any of these games, may mean that he is legitimately injured. But that he's legitimately injured now doesn't necessarily eliminate the possibility that he's been trying to win the scoring title since early March. So maybe. That's about as solid as I can give you. Maybe. If I'm convinced of that, yes, I would be happy to come on and say that I had it wrong.
It's all Calvin ball.
I don't think
it's heads I win, tails you lose. If LeBron plays, we're ripping him. If he doesn't play, we're ripping him. It's an unbelievable space to occupy, Brew.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.